shall we just dig in?
Yeah, why not?
Right, 10 minutes for you to create your definition of the key challenges that you're facing in the farming sector.
And don't be shy, just get in and dig.
You can fight for the blocks.
I'm going to move these models. I'm going to move your models over here onto that table. Some more.
We have to even destroy. So, who would like to share first? Volunteer? Volunteer? Okay. So what are the key challenges in the farming sector based on your model? You can lift it up and then you can show it to the rest.
Better negotiation and communication and understanding between the farmers, between the big companies and between the institutions. So here is the farmers with their production. Here is big companies with their factory. And here is the institution, Ministry of Agriculture, government, talking all together. In the middle of this table is the money, how to spend their money and everyone to be satisfied.
So why are there
on the round table?
Yeah.
Yes, I put in front of here the agriculture farmers. Here is their production.
Yeah.
Here is big industry, big factory with their productions for processing their products, and here is the institution. Yes.
Right. Any question?
So do you think that they are all disconnected, or that this is usual picture in farming, that they are all around the same table and talking together?
They are not always on the same. They are never on the same table. They are always farmers with institutions or a company with the institutions. Never like this table to sit all together in front of them to have their real purpose, how to have a benefit from all works they do together, and how to solve the problems and everyone to be satisfied.
I see some are sort of leaning in and some are kind of leaning out a little bit. Was that intentional or?
Maybe I put a black here more, because I'm much more connected with this green with the farmers. Maybe company are not too much black, but I feel
So that's where
for them like
yeah.
by like.
So that's where the challenge is, do you think?
Yes, the challenges. I think that the challenges for me is here, because here is the farmers, here is how to make them to sit together, to talk together, to understand to themselves, and that is a very big challenges. Yes. And institutions, I also put the institutions here, because sometimes in this kind of process, institutions are present like something like a main in the negotiations. They are not. These two, farmers and companies, are the main actor in the negotiation. Institution only should respect the law and implement the law.
Right.
Okay. That sounds like there's quite a few, like a different couple of issues within the model that you've kind of identified, which is brilliant. Hopefully we can kind of unpick in more detail. Does anyone else have any questions for the model? No? Don't be scared.
And who's the guy with this orange hat?
I found only like To symbolize, I use this like a symbolization of the farms, with the hat. But I only find here because some of the people in the here doesn't have a hands, other doesn't have legs. I found these people in the Lego.
Diversity.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Diversity is good.
Fabulous. Okay, round of applause for model. Thank you. So if we go around this way,
Do you want me to hold?
Okay. So, two things came up in my mind when you asked the questions. One thing is that I'm not only representing or small scale farming, also like bigger scale farming. And one thing is that we don't share equipment in general. I think it's a huge problem.
you don't share.
Equipment like tractors and like
Oh,
other
okay.
things, which is
Harvesting.
harvest
okay.
for needs for farming. So that everyone wants to have their own machine. That also here is representing, like no, that should be like this. So it's like negotiating about these things, like we should do something together is not working in general. Like if you want to share like a common tool, so it's almost impossible. So that's one key challenge. And on the other hand, I'm doing organic farming, and it's like for having very good organic farming in a bigger scale, not speaking about small scale, you need very good technology, like in Austria, in Germany, and also in here. So because of the weed control, we are having organic farming in 300 hectares, and then you need the best technology. So that's one thing. And on the other hand, here's a small scale farmer, and here's the city, and I couldn't really represent or display the connection between them. That I think what I feel in the small scale farming, that they don't have some skills, like for example in management skills. So sometimes they don't know how to sell their product, how to do the logistic part, and so many other things which is like really missing. So that's also one issue that, for example, what I see in the restaurant side, that there is a demand which doesn't connect or meet with the farmer's demand or farmer's needs. So there is no communication. So I couldn't display the lack of the communication between the two sectors.
I'm just going to pull you back slightly. Always talk to the model. So this is one of the things you might notice. So you were talking to everyone, which is fine, but when you do this with other people, make sure that they always touch the model, and you're talking more towards the model than everyone else. It's just to keep that bond between you and the Lego going. Okay.
All right, thank you.
So if you
Thank
just
you for the comment,
no, it's
I can
fine.
hold it,
Yeah, absolutely. Just touch and just point at the bits so that we can kind of get which.
But I couldn't really display this because I think it's really hard to display that. How to display the communication, I was not sure, so I would need more time to figure out something.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, that's really.
Thank you.
I think there's some really interesting challenges that you've pointed out there. The technology, and especially that sharing of.
Because everyone needs to that. I need my own tractor. I need my own. So everyone needs to that on profit and on equipment, on technology, and not about like, okay, let's sit together and like buy I don't know, like a meal together, and we can put everything, like our own product, and one meal is enough, and we don't need to have own meal each one. So there's a huge problem in Hungary, and I think in the Eastern European countries.
Okay. Does anyone else have any questions or comments about this? Do you feel that this is representative of your countries as well?
Yeah, of course. Regarding the equipment, usually we all like to have our own equipment, but in some cases you could share some of equipment for sure. But it's a problem, especially for example in Croatia you have funds and subsidy for buying equipment, but it is not usually.
But it's for individuals, yeah.
Sorry?
But it's for individuals.
Yes, it is
So
not.
the subsidies always go for
yes,
individuals.
it
yeah.
is not
It's
for.
possible for the cooperatives also.
Yes, but it's very difficult to apply because every farmer I need this machine more and someone else needs something else more. So it's very hard to apply a project together for one
because
machine.
one person should be responsible for the others, and you cannot find the person who would like to be responsible for the others, and to get the credit loan or and then to buy together. It's impossible, and the banking system is not really supportive for that kind of investments.
So it's not only the farmers guild, but also the guild of the whole system.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so that's quite. I find that really interesting. That, similar. It's coming at from a similar. Yeah, please.
In Poland it's also similar. I can ask some farmers because in my village there are a lot of tractors. But my area is pretty hilly, so not so much people cultivate the soil anymore. But there are a lot of tractors. So I ask, why you can't share a tractor in few people? And they say, oh yeah, but who's gonna be responsible if it breaks or that and this? And people are afraid. There is some fear. But from the Bond project, we visited cooperative in France, and there it works. Yeah, there are 20 farmers, and they have 3 tractors, and the work works well. Yeah, it's legally okay. And
So there is potential for solutions. It's just how do we, address that? Yeah. Okay. Brilliant. Any other comments or questions for the model? Okay.
Move on to the next one.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I think the biggest problem in small-scale agriculture in Italy is that there is no organization between farmers. But we have a big challenge to develop a system where the economy is widespread. It is not and circular, and not like in agro industry where the economy is centralized. So the big challenge for agroecology and small-scale farmer is to develop a society where there is widespread economy and where all the people have a good job, and so what we need is to build collaboration between producer and try to develop a system where we can collect together all the products, and try also to do to build our factory to made to produce our jam and our product and to sell it. And what another big opportunity and challenge that we can have with small-scale farming is to build a strong relationship with the people in the community. This is, but at least now it is very difficult now to create these systems. Also because there are not the administration at all levels, so local and regional and national administration and politics are orientated for agro-industry farming. So there is no opportunity and found also to develop this kind of systems in Italy.
Okay. And so this little, you've got a tube kind of coming out. The little green tube that you've got sort of on your model? Yes? What's that?
This is just water.
Irrigation,
yes.
okay.
It is a farmer that is working in the field. Here is a market. Here is like a place where the farmers collect all the product. And here is a transformation center, food center.
So this is more about the actual the systems in place.
Yes.
And
The value chain.
Yeah, value chain systems.
And from my understanding, there's not much of a support system here for that. It's not very. It's not there, or you need more support.
Yes.
For this.
Let's say that we have completely to develop this kind of organization. Yes.
Okay.
So when you put this together, because this is the farmers, right?
Yeah.
This is the market.
Yes.
Is there any reason why this is closer to this and not to this? Is because the connection is better here, or?
Yes, this is better connected. I mean, for example, is to have a local market is not so difficult. No, there are local market in, for example, in Italy, but to collect and transform the product, this is.
So, yeah. So
it is
this
something.
is a challenge.
Yes.
This part is a challenging one.
Here is simple because it's in the hands of the farmer, no. But here, you need really the political support to build a transformation center.
Yeah. And I guess resources as well to support that.
This and that. The same sort of theme going on.
Yeah.
The policymakers.
Maybe
I wish we got a policymaker here now to listen to this.
And also, the problem of to have a transformation center is that we have the same behavior in Italy. I have my tractor, I have my stuff. I don't want to share with the other, but to have a transformation center, maybe you need to work and share, to share and to have the same equipment, no?
Absolutely, and that was saying about the technologies as well needed. Yeah. So does anyone have any comments or questions with the model?
Just a comment that actually it's a very positive model. It shows the negative by not showing it. So what is presented is what should be, if I understand properly, and the challenge is what you don't see. That doesn't allow this to be. So it's like the other way.
At least we sort of know that these ones are quite easy to replicate, but the complete value chain will require the government to be involved and the farmers to change their mindset so they can share resources. It's interesting.
Absolutely. Any other comments or questions?
In this sort of process, because you have gone through these discussions and you discover some commonalities, differences, something that you have learned that you have not heard before, which is key in the process to get people to really talk about something that is so personal to them and to make it generalized as well so that everyone will be able to understand where you guys are coming from. And normally it's like once we have done this, the next stage that we are doing, normally we will ask the group to identify shared understanding or the collective understanding of the challenges, which is key. Because just imagine that if you are working in the same organizations perhaps, you might use this as indication of the key challenges that you would like to address for the next year, maybe. But as a practice of how this should be, the next stage, level 3, is about negotiation, right? Say that you are working with, you've got stakeholders with policymakers, landowners, supermarket and whatnot together. We would want each one of you to pick one of the key elements of your model, because you have talked about different challenges in each of the models. But as a practice today, pick one very important element that you can't live without. One key challenge that you think should be put forward as a shared understanding of what those challenges are. So if you could think of what do you want to bring forward as a group shared idea individually first, and then we can negotiate So if you can take about 2 minutes to think about which element that you want to bring forward.
So yes, it's a case of looking at what you've identified, the challenges in your model, and then, yeah, which is the bit which you think is the most important that you would like to address, which I know is difficult, but because they're all really important issues, but
it is a good process to have. Time's up. Right. So which one of your model that you think that you're going to bring forward with you as one of the key challenge?
Okay. So I use this model that for this part, for
Yeah.
the farmers, they should learn how to work together, to unite together for better negotiation with the companies and with the government institutions.
So be working together. So this bit here,
Yes, yes.
right?
Yes.
So that's, and what about yours?
Yeah, also I would say so the better communication and help from the government for the farmers, and not only for the farming but also how to sell their products, but the communication with the government and
So the
okay.
communication between the government
yeah,
and the farmers.
in the farmers, yeah.
So this is S1.
Yeah, yes.
So this is the bridge between the two.
Yeah, and how to help them to, let's say, be more profitable without so much stress and pressure.
So how is it different from that? That one is more about the
Yeah, I would
discussion,
say-
right?
Yeah, I would say it's a similar problem, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But this one is more a general thing about discussions between the different stakeholders.
Yes,
And-
there
yeah.
is stakeholders, but I said that these three
Mm,
guys, these
yeah.
farmers,
Yeah.
should connect
Mm.
and should learn how, when they go to this negotiation room, how they should work, present,
their
they work
problem. Alright.
together, yes.
So this is
Okay.
more about negotiation. This is more about the connection.
Yeah, and how
Connection.
how to help farmers with the
Okay.
better connection, of course.
Right, connection.
Because if they go, three of them, if they go to this room and one is talking different,
Yeah.
second something else, third something else, of course these two guys that are company are very connected. They know what they want.
Mm.
They will not make good connections and good negotiations.
Also,
And of course, the government
Right.
institutions are thinking
Yeah.
for the money and to connect with the richers.
so do
The
you
rich
think
people.
do you think the key challenge here is actually this farmers here that needs to be able to know how to negotiate
Yes.
and work with each other rather than
Yes.
separately? So basically, this is the key challenge. Do you think?
Yes.
Challenge, and this is more about them going to the government.
Yeah.
So before they go to the government, they need to know how to negotiate
Yes. What they
together
want.
what they want.
Yes, and to be connect very strong.
Right. So that's clear. Stu, about this.
So, and the mine is about protecting the food coming from agriculture
Mm-hmm.
and to have the healthy society.
Mm.
Mhm.
So what is that main challenge? What is, if you were to describe it sort of like one word?
How to give the advantage to food which comes from the agriculture, not from the food industry.
Right. So you want to support the farmers in terms of the
And-
types of product that they will create.
But also consumers and the society in generally, because it's about having the healthy society in the future,
Mhm.
depending on what kind of food they will choose. So
food autonomy or something like that? Like to be autonomous?
yeah, somehow we have to fight against. I'm not sure if we have to fight or
Mm.
who should fight and
Mm.
how, with what kind of tools against
Mm.
that kind of industry, because we have more and more people living in the world, and I'm not sure what agriculture, how much food can give to those people, and if we have to fight or do we not have to, or we don't have to fight, I'm not sure, but somehow we have to protect food coming from agriculture and to stimulate people to choosing the right food, not those.
So do you think
Yes,
it's
that's true.
oh, sorry.
Is it the recognition of the importance of the freshness of food and the origin of food and the way it's being produced? So it's the recognition
Yeah, it can
Of the
be
farmers.
of the food and the freshness, the importance of the freshness and the origin of the food.
The origin of the food,
consumers.
by the consumers.
Yeah,
So
because
possibly the
that will help
consumers at the moment of
farmers.
the
Yeah. So the challenge here is more for the consumers because they need to understand rather
Yeah.
than
Definitely. There's
So-
more consumers than the farmers living in the world. So
yeah.
that
So
change can happen between the
The
consumers.
awareness, the
which
awareness of the awareness of the consumers, maybe, and the
it can
autonomy.
yeah,
together.
Yeah, to make
Mm.
conscious people,
Mm.
customers.
Yes.
yeah,
it-
but
yeah.
because the farmers are also consumers.
Interesting because the consumers and the connection between the farmers and this, as well as to equip the farmers to be able to negotiate, but there has to be a connection with the consumers, so the consumers would need to know
Yeah.
the point of view of the farmers.
Yeah, because all of them are the consumers. The government, they are consumers. The farmers are also not just the farmers. We cannot look at them as separate. Okay, they're producing the food and they're producers. They're also consumers. So it's more
Consumers.
like comprehensive approach to look at the society as they are consumers.
Consumers, remember that,
Mhm.
and that, because you guys are going to create a story after this. What about yours?
For me, is the construction of the farmer organization is developed to develop skills of the farmers to negotiate with the government. This is for me is
The key chance. It's quite the same as that one in terms of
Yes.
the negotiation. But is there anything else here that you think has to be in it?
here. I mean,
Yeah.
for me, is to construct this kind of organization. No?
So it's a value chain. in yours.
Value chain.
So what if you said you want to take this out from here? Which one will represent that?
Just one.
You said you just pick this side or that one.
This side.
That side.
Because it's the biggest.
Biggest.
It's the much difficult achievement. No?
Achievement, yeah. This is the whole process. This is the farming
Process. Yeah.
the farming process. Right. So that one is clear. What about this one?
Yeah, I think could be this one.
The
Union, yeah, the elephant in
Okay.
The union.
thing that, yeah, how can you make this more for the farmers again, so it can actually, you know, be maybe it's a bit more on a hate with the government, I guess.
Yeah. That'd be
That
interesting.
would be the, like, how do you make sure that's not elephant is more representative?
That'd be interesting because when you guys are gonna go to the next stage after we continue to connect them, so the way you connect them will have meaning. Right. Move on to this one.
Yeah. Actually, I think the key issue for me is like communication. I would take this one. It's like people are going, they should go towards the same direction. Because as you see here, they live in the same reality. So yeah, they should like communicate better. Yeah, and this is problem in communication between producers, farmers, and policymakers everywhere. Yeah. So it's more like abstract, a bit, not really.
So it's more about communication in general that can connect some of these. So it's gonna be that one there.
Yeah.
That one there, right? Probably you guys can negotiate, or perhaps this has got something to do with the negotiation and communication between this and the communication issues in general actually cover all this. How do you support that? Right, with that quick summary and then your model, I want you to pick one of the items from your model to represent the challenges that you are facing, that we've just discussed, and we move to the next table.
Oh.
The shed one.
Okay.
Oh yes.
Okay. Brilliant.
Right. So we got everything here. So
So let's just remind ourselves of what each one is. So I'm just going to point, and then you're going to tell me.
Okay. Connection with the government and the producers.
Okay.
Yeah, ma'am. Connection and common goals.
Connection and common goals.
Negotiation.
Negotiation.
Communication.
Communication.
consumers.
Consumers.
Each of them.
Okay.
Food processing.
Food processing.
Unions.
The union. How can we forget the union? Okay. So what this bit really is about is trying to build a shared model. So obviously we have lots of different issues here, and what we're trying to do is find common connections between them. So what I want you to do is start building a shared model of all of these different issues, okay? And I want you to lay them out where you think they connect to each other. Okay.
And please make sure that you can only touch your own model, because there is pressure. We have to remember, when you create this is precious to you, so no one else should take it and put it somewhere. You need to figure out where that is.
So it's about so it's about trying to create a story of a shared, a shared issue of what's going on. So, and you have to be happy with where your issue sits in relation to each other's. Okay, so try and find where they all connect. Okay, so if you want to come round here, okay, so everyone get in, and then yes, what I want you to do is start to build together. Okay, so have a chat where you think these issues all sit alongside each other.
Negotiate.
Yes. Okay.
So I was thinking this is the decision-making process and the way we have the knowledge, or
This is, for me,
30 minutes.
when we talk here, I need something. Negotiation is me. That we must be connected, we must learn how to negotiate, and after that to go to the ministry, connect with the ministry. After that, it is very important, this also, 3 of this, and this was you, yes?
Yeah.
Yes, we must have a common goal. First, we must have a common goal to learn how to negotiate, to have one door, to go to the ministry, and to connect with the ministry. And this is also very important. Union. For me, it is very important, and it should be here. No. For me, I explain how I understand everything. Here is common goal. Learn how to negotiate. This is the union must. We transform this union or make other union and go to the ministry and to communicate. Where was the customer, consumers and processing? Yes. After that, when we start to communicate there, we should also find as a goal for processing to know how to produce and what we are doing. So you are maybe here with me here when we making idea how to negotiate.
These are farmers.
Yes,
Yeah.
farmers. Yes, they are. Yes, you see, they are.
These
Same.
are farmers or like different?
Yes.
Farmers, yeah.
Yes,
farmers,
they are farmers. They are farmers, but we must find same goal.
Yeah.
We should learn how to communicate and what we are going to produce, how to negotiate, transform this union, going to the ministry to communicate with them, and also this is with the consumer. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm trying to take someone from the government and some producer who are called.
Are you? Yes. Are you? Before you do that, are you happy to? Okay.
this one could connect all
We
those
can
different,
fight
right?
Yes.
This could be if
So
you
they are
connect it to
having
these.
together. Then.
Yes.
So you will find this is the government, and
So
maybe they should be here.
No, I would maybe
No.
look. And we can also connect this with the producers.
Yes.
And maybe with the government on the top.
Here is the government. They,
No, there is a government.
So maybe
but,
you
but
can take it back here. Or
yeah, but hold them because they should have
Okay.
together that.
I'm going to
Yeah.
stop just slightly because this is your model. So are you happy with your guys up there on the union?
Yeah, if they are collaborating, if they are.
Because these ones are yours, right?
Yeah, all mine.
But why is it
mine? Yeah.
Are you
They-
happy with mine too?
I mean-
why are these on the top of elephant? Yeah. Why?
I would rather put this on the top of elephant as somehow to have a common goal and a common institution that can collaborate directly with the government.
It's like
So if
working
you-
union should be this
If you want
institution,
to,
No, I'm not sure. I'm just thinking like that. I'm not sure that it should be in top of the
Maybe
elephant.
they should be
well, if you
here.
want to move your model, then where do you think that your model should sit in relation to?
Definitely up, down, down. I mean,
Not on the top.
yeah.
Are you sure?
No, no, no.
You have to change your mind. Because no, you have put your farmers
Yeah, but-
down.
Okay, but these are farmers, yeah?
Yes.
And
And
these are farmers.
yes.
Should they be all together
Yes,
working
they-
together?
yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
can we put them maybe
Underground.
Maybe this should be, these three farmers, when we say about negotiation, should be on front of the elephant
Yeah.
here. Because here we make one goals with the consumers,
Yeah.
and after
Yeah, no,
that,
but also with the government representatives. So here's the government. So and
and
farmers.
negotiation of the farmers should be on the, I put like this maybe, should be on the elephant, because union must understand that these people, these negotiations are very important, and to create negotiation inside of the union. Yeah.
So these are the farmers inside the union? Or?
Yes, yes, but you know, now these farmers
Are not
give
in the-
information to
Okay.
in
These are
the
not.
union,
These
yes.
are not in the union.
They are.
no, they are members in the union.
I
Okay.
like the idea what you said, like too, that if this is sort of on top of the union, because then you also, like now it's still sort of separated from
Yeah.
the rest, no?
But why does it have to be on top of union?
and
Just,
weak connection.
Because it connects the knowledge,
Still.
I guess, from the
But we
different
could-
groups. It connects the way.
I'm just saying like this. What is the purpose of the union? To connect all the farmers, or like
Yeah, and to
Yes.
represent their
Represent
common
them.
goal, I
Front of
guess,
the
towards
government,
the
yes.
Okay.
Because if we still go like this,
Yeah.
alone, one by one, here, there won't
Yeah,
be
but
any
then we
way.
can change. We can give them the same ground, and this is
Okay.
the same ground which is
I would
you could put. Yeah,
I would like to put
And
them
then
all.
they will be
let's
together
say.
on the same floor,
This should be probably a good thing
Yeah.
to put them all.
and then we don't need the wire because they are
Okay,
on the same floor.
okay,
Because this is the weak connection. I didn't say.
okay.
Okay, is everyone happy with it moving
You have
to
to
that?
do that.
Do you believe they should be there? You look like you want to say something. You-
No, I mean, we go to the farmers organization go to negotiate with government. So I think this must be an outcome of our negotiation.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So this is maybe representative because it is true that farmers don't have time to go every day to the. So here there are some representative from the farmers, and this is the assembly of the farmer organization. They go to the ministry, and we have the outcome. I mean, we ask to our government some resources to build our process transformation center or access to market.
Okay.
So you don't want to have them here.
Yeah, I can. I just try to think where this fits. Yeah, like a communication, or okay, because we also have like farmers, producers, different groups. So this is kind of abstract. Yeah, it's just communication between people carrying like the same like planet. Yeah, so I don't know where it fits actually.
I would put it somewhere on top of something because
Yes.
the communication is
The
I
most
believe
important.
Yeah.
is the most important to connect everybody and to
It should be connect with all.
Yes.
Can we put
this is just a mean to something. Just
Yeah.
I can put it inside. You can put it maybe in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this
Yep.
also.
Do we need that, Jos?
No, this is.
So maybe we can change the model slightly to fit this.
Somehow.
It also shows that communication
Yeah,
needs to
it's
be flexible.
Yeah, it's flexible, indeed, yeah. Because if it's like fixed, then you can't really just.
Move it around, yeah.
Okay, so now the end product is sort of in the middle, quite close to
Where is this government
this.
now? Like,
Government is here.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I think that this should be like this and elephant should be here because connection is farmers, union, government.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
But can someone...
So
Yeah,
farmers.
would you like to move your... Are you...
No, I don't I agree with you. No, I don't.
So we are putting.
Okay, so remember the person's model gets to move it?
And here should be... Yes, and I
Means
think
Copolia.
that if we make this in practice... Perfect. Perfect, yes.
And do we need that? Is it something what
this
we
is just
No,
a
just
ministry,
structure.
nice building.
Yes.
empty without a purpose?
Consumers can come here and buy something
Yes.
from.
Nice restaurant
Yeah,
on the
of
top.
course.
With a nice
Thank you.
view on
Yeah.
the
We
whole
still have the ladder.
chain.
Yes.
To look further now. But maybe that's
Yeah,
what
of
It's a
course.
shorter.
we're able
Of course.
to.
Yeah.
Okay. So the guys on top of the union, are they, that's... Okay.
Dead guys.
They're,
What's the difference? Okay, between these farmers and these farmers. Just,
I think these are the
yeah,
representatives.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You must have a good organization that will represent in front of the institution.
and I noticed that these, so the union still isn't really connected. Just as a-
This is the connection, the green
sorry.
field.
Aha, okay,
so
so
it's
the...
all connecting the
Brilliant.
same
We
field.
like of strings, like more, connect union somewhere.
So is everyone happy with this as a model? You know, if you're not happy with where something is, then, you
Keep
know,
negotiating.
absolutely, okay, because this is, you know, this is the key part of, you have to be absolutely happy with how you think this
Yeah,
represents.
I'm happy because they're fighting together. The government and the farmers and having the two together. Being on the same field.
So does it mean that the tool is the consumer? That tool?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This consumer is the tool,
Yeah.
But
We are holding them together.
why
Farmers
do
and
they
the
like fight?
it's not
Oh,
fight.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
just trying to have influence on the consumers together because the farmers cannot do much, and to raise awareness between the consumers. But together with the government, they can be the stronger voice.
Okay,
So I'm happy with my position.
okay, good. You happy?
Yeah, I'm also happy that everything is connected and on the same level. So
Yeah.
I think it's good model.
You can live with this.
You can live with
it,
this?
yeah.
Okay, this is good because we're now going to tell a story about this model, just so that we have it in our minds. So, what we're going to do is we're going to try and go around each of the bits of the model, and we're going to say, in order to address these challenges, we are going to, okay, and we're going to point and say what each
Yeah.
bit of the model
Yeah.
is, okay?
Yeah. The key challenges are.
Okay, so I'm gonna try it just so that you can see what I mean, and I'm going to try and remember how you've connected it, and then each person is going to get a chance to do it. Okay, so in order to address the key challenges that we've identified today, we need to ensure that farmers are connected. See, this is where it gets tricky. Right, I'm gonna ask quite a lot of questions there. So, farmers are connected to the union, and that they have representatives, which know what the farmers want. Yes.
And how to negotiate.
And how to negotiate. And how to negotiate. Okay.
Communicate.
And how to communicate.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. That they're connected to consumers, so that the consumers, so help me here, consumers? This is the consumer, isn't it? Yeah.
So the farmers are connected with the government representatives, and they are trying to raise awareness on the food coming from agriculture and about the consumption of the
Local food.
Okay.
Food,
So consumers have up-to-date knowledge, I guess, of products, and there's good communication between farmers and consumers.
And consumers, sorry, can I?
No, yeah, absolutely.
Consumers are also like a tool in the hands of farmers.
Okay, they're tools in the hands of farmers. That's
but also
okay.
the
And the government
Also
as well.
government,
yeah, government also.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, and that. Oh, sorry. There's by this. So remind me what this bit by here. These were the farmers as well. They were the farmers. Okay. Okay. So we have the communication as a central point over here, and that we then have this communication between farmers. We have representatives that are in the union, are then going to convey this to the government. And that the government is now on a similar level, so that they're not out of reach. And that,
Have output processing.
and then they're going to. That means that we will have a successful way to get the results that we need. Yes. Did I tell the story? Was that the story that you want to
Maybe
tell?
That there is a shared knowledge.
A shared knowledge.
Yeah,
Okay.
which was missing before. Communication skills, negotiation skills, and now they have all together the shared knowledge, and they have more strength
Okay.
than before.
Yeah, so this is like picture to be shared.
So this could be the maybe shared knowledge.
Can I change something? Because they
Absolutely.
now they should like hold it in their hands, because
Mhm.
I had a rather negative model. So like positively they share not they are towards not they are apart.
So they're all looking in.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can change it. Please do.
Better. They don't have hands.
We're working with their brains, not with hands.
Also, like it's more a tool than a burden.
Okay.
Maybe they can also be
Can
more
I
together.
exchange?
Yeah,
Can I exchange this?
If you want to get in and
I just exchange one with the hands, okay?
Yeah.
Can we enough hands? Yeah. They can sort of like
That's
carry
knowledge.
knowledge.
It's knowledge.
Okay.
Yes.
Are we?
A bit kissing.
Yeah, kissing each other, having
Yeah.
close relationships, and
It is good.
yeah.
Happy? Everyone happy?
Yeah,
Yes.
The music
Okay.
comes up.
And then there was the brilliance that is.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've seen me try to struggle through it. It's but let's now each try telling the story of each of the parts. So who would like to maybe try telling the story of what we have here? Would you like to go? Would you like to try?
No,
But really, like the whole picture.
Yes.
Or the
So
part,
like
whole
what I
picture.
just did. So if you want to
You
sort
need
of
to
say
touch
that.
and point to it.
Okay.
So, it's good to start off by saying, in order to address these key challenges, we need to have. Or does anyone else want to try go first? Who feels they might be able to tell this story? Honestly, after my struggle through it, you should be fine.
I think it's the everything is about the shared knowledge and the values. So
Okay.
it is hard to look at this element separately. If you
Ah,
ask me,
But this is what we need to do just to
how to
make
read-
it,
Mhm.
confirm it in our minds. So, would you like to go?
Yes.
Yeah? Would you like to give it a
Yeah.
go? Okay, so come on in.
Yeah, so first, I think
In
it's
order
generally,
for us-
it's generally accepted that some farmers here that trying to have the same goal, and to reach this to reach a solution, they need a common goal. To have also like good representatives who could go to the EU and represent their values and their goals, because they have the skills of negotiation with the institutions of the EU, and the result of the negotiation could be a good or better food industry or food processing, a better food processing, which could help for the farmers. And after that, you could see here that they have reached the shared values for the common goal.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that, maybe, or maybe I missed something.
We've
And
got,
yeah. And also we can see here that there's a connection between the consumers and the government, that they want to build awareness among the consumers.
Mhm.
And after this, we could reach also the government if the farmer representative could make a good decision between the EU.
Okay. Does that sound like a good story? Is the story you want to tell?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Does someone else want to have a go?
Yeah, I think like, what's important to me that everything is all the actors are decentralized. So I mean, and it's not top down, but it's rather horizontal. And, okay, the farmers and the policymakers, and this transformation. What was processing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But it's
Yeah.
more transformation also.
Yeah, and the consumers, everything is horizontal, and it has, let's say, it should have equal rights, and it should take also responsibility,
Mhm.
and it can act independently, but in the end we are pursue the common goal, and we care about like everyone lives on the same planet,
Mhm.
and at a certain point, our needs will like meet. Yeah, so then we have to sit together and talk about this and try to find this common goal.
Okay. So, everyone is on the same level.
Yeah.
Sort of. So maybe that could be part of the story to start with. So we all have a common goal.
Yeah.
And to
Potentially.
respect each other.
To respect each other. Yeah. Okay. Would you like to maybe, with that in mind, then tell the story of what's here?
Yeah. No, this is what I actually thought. That was, yeah, this was the story. Yeah,
Mhm.
maybe it wasn't very specific, like, but that was it. Yeah, like here, like farmers and everything is interconnected and
Mhm.
pursue the common goal. And
We cannot look at this separately anymore.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I know, but try just for the sake. So, because like I said, it's really important that we can all tell this story and get get down to the nitty gritty of what it is that we're trying to solve. So, if I could just get you to
point, yeah.
to point and.
Yeah, so, okay, we have farmers here, yeah,
Mhm.
which are connected. As we said, like consumers are the tool, also might be to the farmers and to government. So they, as I understand here, they can influence each other, farmers and the government, via this tool, via consumers somehow.
Mhm.
And the key word is the common goal.
Common goal.
Yeah, that bit there. Yeah.
Yeah. So this yeah, this is yeah, also the common goal, and the policy, here are the like government, yeah, policy makers. So they, because this is a horizontal model, so I think they should because these are connected here. All also this producing plant. Everyone, farmers and policymakers and transformation center and unions. Everyone has own needs. Maybe they are in contradiction, yeah. But in the end, as you see via these strings, let's say policymakers, of course, affects what they make. The policy affects the farmers, yeah, transformation center and unions. So at a certain point, they should work together via like efficient communication, and not try to. The policy maker should connect, because if they are disconnected, then the laws they said would be basically just it's gonna be not efficient, yeah, because it will be disconnected from other actors. So yeah, so this is for me always important, and this point is the place where all meet together and try to set a better policy, maybe, or a better world, of course.
Okay.
So, and discuss this knowledge.
Okay.
This
So
can be also connected back, like feedback the knowledge to everyone.
okay.
This is what it means to me.
Does that sound? You happy with that story?
Yes. It's good that we put communication, and in the middle of everything that is here, the organization that should negotiate for the farmers. It is good that in these pictures he's saying, like he said, that everyone is equal. We have human rights. Farmers have human rights. They are visible for the society, and that is very important. They hear these connections with the consumers. It is very important. When we have the same goals, we can know how to negotiate. When we know how to negotiate, we will go to the institutions. In front of the institution, we will know what we are going to ask and how to our interest to be expressed and implement our rights, and of course our results is processing and everything. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. You told the story then without me asking. That's brilliant. Okay. So what's the time? Just curious. Got 5 more minutes for lunch. Can I maybe get one of the lady then to maybe tell the story, and we can wrap up for lunch for this bit then? Who would like to tell?
No, we had already.
You can tell?
Much ladies.
So here you actually still have the farmer working the field, but then here you have the farmers coming together, learning to negotiate and communicate or formulate a common goal, working together with the consumers, and the government working together with the consumers to mobilize them as well. So here you have the government, which is connected as well to the other institutions on the same level, so they can communicate on the same level as well. And then here you have the processing facilities, which are also connected with the other ones, and the union representing the common goals that's been negotiated here. And also, and here I guess is the core of everything. It's the shared knowledge, and before it used to be more like a burden. They were carrying a burden of the problems we were facing and the knowledge of these problems and how to solve it, but now they're together carrying this knowledge and maybe a common vision of where we want to go. So it's more positive way of addressing the challenges.
That's good. Yep.
Great.
Happy?
Yeah. Just maybe you miss one thing here.
Yeah, look.
There is this common knowledge, and there are some people like communicate. But I was thinking like this knowledge, it would be maybe more understandable that if we put some strings here going back, so like this knowledge is accessible to other people.
Ah, so it's kind of a
Let's get free knowledge.
yeah. So it's
Open source.
going in, coming out.
Yes, this knowledge is our mind, new mind.
It's a hive mind.
You should think.
I like that, the hive mind. Yeah, it's good.
Cloud.
Yeah, the cloud. This is the